Laughter is the only thing that'll keep you sane. In this world that's dying more and more every day. Don't let evil get you down. In this madness that's spinning round and around.
On any given Friday night, Greene Young Life sends out dozens of leaders into the local high school to win the friendship of lost teenagers.
Underneath the skies.
As long as students in our town mill around at ball games looking for love in all the wrong places.
As long as they desperately seek an identity based on the opinions of friends and reputations.
As long as kids limp through the stands broken by family strife, enslaved by drugs, alcohol, and sex.
I want to be found there, not in the adult section, where it's respectable and controlled, right in the middle, where passions, vulgar and profane, blurt out obscenity.
Where arrogant and reckless facades hide wounded hearts filled with insecurity and fear.
I want to be found right there in the middle of those kids, where God has positioned me to shine forth His love, His hope, His grace, and His truth.
As long as there's an enemy who can convince his victims that tomorrow does not matter and that harm will not find them.
As long as God has rendered Him a defeated foe, using the weakest of us to shine forth His light that pierces the darkest places and brings rescue to the lost.
As long as the darkness is blasted away by the light of the world, a light that lives within all who know, love, and follow Him.
And as long as there is such darkness, I will man my post, right in the middle of all that chaos, holding my position until He calls the last play and the lights fade out. If you've ever been to a football game in Greeneville on a Friday night, you can't help but notice the two worlds collide in one stadium. The adults in one section, and then right next to them, this reckless, uncontrolled, often crude world where teenagers fill the student section. But if you've ever taken a moment to glance over at that world of teenagers, you may have noticed some seemingly random adults standing, cheering, laughing with those high school kids. And there's a good chance that those adults are young life leaders. We do this in hopes that we might step into their lives and give them a meaningful confrontation with the God of the universe and share with them the old story of Jesus and His love. As young life leaders, we journey to the school to fulfill the Great Commission because we know that teenagers are lonely and hurting, and that, like Jesus, we can learn their names and become their friends. And it's not just at football games. It's throughout the week. It's at practices, it's after school, it's in the lunchroom, it's a cup of coffee at Catalyst or a late night run at Tipton's. It's playing ball in the park. I mean, the list goes on. But wherever you see teenagers, you'll find a young life leader there because we want to be there, right in the middle of all that chaos. Every time we show up at the game, two worlds collide. Light collides with darkness. Joy collides with sadness. And life collides with death. And that is the privilege that we have as young life leaders here in our town. That we get to love hurting teenagers. And we get to be a part of their story. And as Jesus grabs their hearts, we get to watch them move from death to life. And it is worth every penny that we spend. every amount of time and energy that we give, because kids' lives are being changed for eternity. When you sit in the stands on any given Friday night, underneath the lights, and you look over at that student section, it appears to be full of life, laughter, and smiles. But when the lights go down, when the laughter fades, and the masks are put away, the real stories emerge. Broken families, hurtful friendships, innocence lost, kids feeling abandoned and alone. It is in this lonely place where a young life leader's friendship becomes authentic, where trust is won, and where teenagers discover that they are not alone. Jesus has not left us alone.
The sky so blue.